From trying new activities, to eating new food, to interacting with people from new and different places, fact of the matter is, travelers get sick. Find out how to reach these travelers staying in their hotels, next on Just Checking In. Good afternoon, this is Alan Ayers, and I am just checking in here in Chicago. I want to talk to you today briefly about marketing to hotels. So the first question we get asked are about those literature racks you commonly see in hotel lobbies. Should the urgent care put literature in that rack? And the answer is easy, no. When people go to those racks, they're perusing activities, things that they might want to do in their destination, and so the ski resort, the outlet mall, the casino, urgent care, I don't think people really look at the brochure and say, wow, I really want to do this. The way people search for urgent care, or when people go looking for urgent care, is because they have an urgent medical need. So if you want to reach people staying in hotels, you need to reach the individuals that those guests might ask. So there are a couple of ways of doing this, and really we start with segmenting the hotel types. So a larger convention hotel is very departmentalized. Typically the starting point's the concierge. The concierge in the lobby has a book, and anytime a guest walks up, I'm looking for a Vietnamese restaurant, I'm looking for whatever they're looking for, including urgent care, the concierge will go to this book. So the key is to get into the concierge book. So the first step is, if you're in a large city that has these larger convention type hotels or upscale hotels or resorts, you want to make contact with the concierge. Now if you're in a large city like Chicago or New York or San Francisco, there are associations of concierges, and it would be worth your while to identify a potential lead in one of those organizations to be able to speak to a large group of concierges en masse. The next place guests might go would be the front office. So in a larger hotel, again, you'll typically have a front office manager. That would be a good contact for you. The front desk potentially could keep literature for your urgent care center behind the front desk, because that's the logical place after the concierge where patients might ask. And then beyond that, think of every other guest touch point. So the bell stand, the doorman, the bus or limo driver. These are all individuals that if a patient's not feeling well, the hotel staff member might be able to recommend, hey, I know such and such urgent care, here's a brochure, here's a map, here's a magnet, here's, or I can take you there. So developing the relationships with multiple guest touch points of the larger hotels is really key. It's not putting literature in the brochure rack. And another question we get is, should you put literature in every room? And of course that would be an extraordinarily expensive endeavor when you consider that some of these hotels range from several hundred to several thousand rooms. And again, that's typically not how patients look for urgent care. The odds that a patient will, or that a guest be in the room, see the brochure, oh, I need this, is probably fairly thin relative to the total number of guests that a hotel serves on any given night. Now, when you're dealing with a smaller hotel, it's a little bit easier because typically there's a singular touch point who would be the general manager. So, very much like you would with a large hotel when you're speaking with the concierge, the front desk manager, the bell manager. For a smaller hotel, you would typically look for the general manager, set up a brief meeting, introduce your services, your hours, and then leave some literature that can be at the front desk should a guest have an urgent care need. So, relationships, like anything, flourish over time as they're cultivated. So once you develop these relationships initially, it's important to get back out to these hotels, replenish literature, reintroduce yourself, because hotels, like every other business, do have fairly frequent turnover. But the result can be a steady flow of guests coming to your urgent care. Clearly, when people are traveling, their time's very important to them. They're either on an expense account for business or they're on their own time for vacation. So any unexpected illness, they're going to want to resolve right away. So hope this is certainly helpful as far as ideas on how to market to tourists staying in hotels. If you have any additional questions, please contact us at Practice Velocity at the email address you see on your screen. Thanks again. This is Alan Ayers, and I'm just checking in today in Chicago.